Hello and welcome. I am Snyder from SnyderSunshineArtStudio.com, and I am here to shine some creativity into your world with step-by-step instructions and ready to use art lessons to spark artistic achievement in students and to give art teachers a reprieve. With 20 plus years of teaching in public schools, I have gained a wealth of personal ideas for lessons and instruction, as well as just a new and warm desire to share my knowledge with you, my audience. So please hang out with me and let's create together. Hello again. It is A.M. Snyder, Snyder Sunshine Art Studio, and I have a pencil rolling across the white printer paper. This is paper that goes into a copier printer. It's thin, it's white, and it will work for making paper cut snowflakes. Now, first of all, I have to take the corner and I bring it over towards the other corner. Now, as I'm doing that, I have this straight short edge because it's a rectangle. Rectangles have two long sides, two short sides. I'm going to take this short side and I'm going to line it up with the long side. So I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to bring it over, and that short side is going to line up with this long side. And I'm going to crease it. I know I've got lots of creases in my snowflakes. It's just part of the process, and it's okay. It really is. It's okay. Now that I did that, I could hold this down and draw along here, or not draw at all and just cut this strip off. Okay? Since I drew it, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to cut the strip off. It's not going to be totally straight because I'm cutting with scissors and I'm a human being, so it's okay though. It's fine. It works. Now, I want to take my rolling pencil and move it out of my way. Stay. And I'm going to fold this. I have glue from my other project here on my fingers. I'm going to fold this in half. It's folded in half this way, by the way, like a napkin, a triangle. But I'm going to fold it in half to make the square into a rectangle now. And this is going to give me 4 squares. Square is a very good starting shape for making snowflakes. I'm going to cut this in half on that crease so I get 2 rectangles. In total, I have 3 rectangles when I'm finished because I have that strip of paper. Alright, now I'm going to fold it this way from top to bottom. Or we can say left to right, either way. You can see how we're going to make 4 squares, right? Open it up, cut it. Now this is going to create a bunch of little bits of paper, so you need to make sure that you're prepared for the cleanup process. Try to keep your bits in a pile. We have 2 squares that are not folded. We're going to leave those to the side. We have 2 that are folded in that diagonal way, so we'll start with those. Alright, we're going to fold it back over on that crease. Napkin triangle. Now that I did that, I turned it so that the longer side, which has the crease on it, is towards my belly button, towards my belly. Now I'm going to take the left and I'm going to bring it over to the right, and I'm going to make a smaller triangle. Okay, again, I have this crease at the bottom. This long triangle side is still at the bottom when I fold it. It's very important to know where that is. Okay, I also have a crease here. So I have a fold, and I have 2 folds here. I have 1 fold on the left, 2 folds on the bottom. And then, where the longest side of the triangle is now, I have these pockets. These pockets are where we start to get confused, okay? So make sure you have one side that has a crease to the left, and then the bottom has 2 folds. Then all the little pockets that you can put your fingers in are to the upper right corner. You got that so far? I hope so. Now here's the next tricky part. You could use a pencil. I'm going to use a Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take and I'm going to draw from this corner here a curve, and then I'm going to draw another curve to what appears to be the center here. Curve and curve. So here's this point right here. If I go out, that's like the center of that straight line. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to come in, curve, curve. Okay. Now, I'm going to come over here. See how that curve is? I'm going to draw another curve. I'm going to do it here too. Alright. Now, I am going to draw at the bottom. It's going to start as a point. It's going to come around. Reminds me of a fish hook against the edge. Fish hook. And I do it here too. Notice none of my lines are touching each other. This is supposed to be one continuous line in the end, okay? This line is not touching this line, and that line's not touching that line, and that line's not touching. Nothing's touching each other, okay? Now I'm going to keep the paper closed and cut on my lines. Now, as much as you follow my directions, yours will still look slightly different. And you know what the benefit of that is? It is that, as people say, no two snowflakes are alike. So there you go. Even though you follow my directions, your snowflake will not be like mine. Okay, so now we have our bits. It's in a pile. If I open this up, you'll start to see the radial balanced snowflake. Now, snowflakes are known to have 6 points. Mine does not. And you know, I'm fine with that. It's still a fun paper cut. Now that we've done this very simple one, you can see how we could probably cut here and add a little more extra excitement to it. So I'm going to close it up. You can see that's the big part. That's that part right there. And I'm going to add to it. I'm going to add a curve in and a curve in. Okay. Kind of reminds you of a very curvy letter M, or a U with 2 hairlines or something. Alright, let's see what happens. Cut in, turn the paper, cut out. Cut in, take the scissors out, and cut in. Ooh, check it out. That's a little more exciting, isn't it? A little more exciting. It's a lot more exciting, I think. It's very pretty. Alright, now that you know where we're going with that, let's take the other one. It's folded in a napkin, in a fancy napkin. We have the longest side with a fold. We're going to take the left to the right. Crease it. We have the long side with the pockets. Now, let's take, and we will start off the same way. We're going to have a curve here. But this time we're going to come in and out. Okay, so do it over here. This is the bottom again. Remember, this is the bottom. Okay, bring the bottom down. And now I'm going to use some diagonals here. Straight diagonals. And we can do the same here with our triangular shapes. Okay, so our long side, one side that's folded, the bottom with 2 folds, okay? Alright, let's cut it. Nothing touching each other. Super careful here that you don't cut through that. Okay, roll my paper trash over. Now, before I open this, you see there's this big space. We can be very adventurous here, and we can fold this again. This is risky, so if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I'm going to put in a little curve right there on that fold that I just made. Okay, so I had this open spot. This point here, folded it. All right, let's do it. Let's cut that out. Open it. It's gonna be exciting. Whoa, look at that. They are very exciting. Okay. So pretty. So pretty. Yes, A.M. Snyder really finds these to be beautiful. Alright, so this one here is not folded in the napkin, so what we can do with it is we can fold it into a rectangle. Then we could fold it across. This is long side, open side, long side. Take the left to the right. Again, just like the triangle. We have one fold, one crease. The bottom has two creases. Here's at this point we have our pockets. You put your fingers into the pockets, right? All right, now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go from this point and we're gonna draw a bumpy line. We're gonna do it again. Then, draw out in a point and out. Now, I'm going to draw deep in. And our fish hook. And our fish hook. Alright, let's see what happens. Now, I didn't say this earlier, but I always put the paper in the back of the scissors mouth. They're usually sharper there, so you can get through thick layers of paper better. Okay. A.M. Snyder got lost in her thoughts for a moment. Sorry about that, everybody. Opening this up. And peeling. Come on. And there it is. Exciting. Paper cuts are very exciting. I like them a lot. Alright, let's do this one the same way. I'm going to fold it in a rectangle. And by the way, I didn't really think out how to draw these out because they just come as you go. Okay, so there it is. We have a crease, and then we have two creases, and we have the pockets. So let's make this a little thicker, a little more challenging. The side that has one fold, one crease, like the spine of a book, is going to land and line up down here. Okay, so like we started off when we made our big square, I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to fold it into this triangle. And when I do that, it gets tricky. Paper's thicker. I have one crease like the spine of a book. Okay, now I have three creases And then I have all these pockets. See how my fingers go into the pockets? Okay, we want the pockets on the right. We want the 3 on the bottom. And we want the 1 on the left. Okay. Now we're going to cut into this. We're going to draw first. I think this time I'm going to cut the center out. This point here is the center. So I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to cut some diamonds. So I'm drawing half a diamond. And then I'm going to try something real fancy here. Curve. And it's like we're drawing half an arrow. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to cut this, and it's going to be thick, so it's going to be a little more challenging, especially if you have little kid scissors. Put it in the jaw of the scissors. Take your time, because that's where an area will just get torn if you don't take your time. I drew that curve, but now I want to change it, and that's something we can always do. We can always change it. We just don't want the cuts to touch each other. So if I cut this, and I see that line is close to where I cut it, I can adjust it. And then I say I cut the center out. All right, now it's the reveal time. Because we folded that extra fold, it may look more circular. We shall find out. Yeah, it does. Again, I used Sharpie, so you'll notice you can see my lines through the paper. Using a pencil would be better. So I have all of these paper cut snowflakes that I can tape to my windows and add to the wintry feel of the season. Yes, yes indeed. Now you could take this smaller strip, let's put these aside, and fold it in half. And fold it in half again. You're going to get a rectangle, but you can still cut them apart, and you get 4. Okay, you'll get 4. Nice, peel them apart. There we go. We got 4. And we can do the same thing. We can fold and then fold. Okay, again, I have two creases and 1 crease and glue on my finger. And I have all the pockets. I'm going to cut this in a curve here because that will make it more of a pizza pie slice. I could draw first, totally draw first. Okay, and then cut. And because it's smaller, it's going to be a little more challenging to work with. Okay, we open it up, and we have a little tiny snowflake. Yes, how cute is that? If I do it the other way where it's folded across so it's more of a triangle, you see how we get that extra piece? Cut that off. We have our triangle napkin. We have 1 crease, 2 crease pockets, and we can even make that extra challenge by folding it one more time So we have one crease. Can you see that? One crease. We have 3 creases. It's at the bottom. And then we have all the pockets on the right. Okay? And I'm going to just cut. I'm not going to draw anything. Just going to cut a line. Act like Henri Matisse and draw with my scissors. I always found that to be fascinating about how he reflected on his artwork and his collages by drawing with the scissors. I totally get that. Now, throughout this video, if you heard my son in the background, I apologize. One day, I will figure out how to edit his voice out. And now we open it. Remember, I folded the extra fold so it gets more intricate. How pretty is that? It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. It's like lace. Like lace. I'm looking at it and thinking, if I cut these off, it reminds me of a lion's face. Yes. Well, of course I have 2 more that I could make, but I think that you have enough knowledge here that you can go ahead and make your own paper cuts that are radial balanced. I didn't say that earlier, but they are. The designs are radiating out and they're going around, and there's the same amount of information all the way around and going out. So they're well balanced. The other thing you could do is put them onto colored paper, which is always fun too. So I have some yellow paper here that I could place them on. You could put them onto blue paper. Let me find some blue paper here for us. So we have some blue paper, and I've done this with students where they glue the snowflakes onto a colored paper, arrange them, overlap them, and that is a real fun collage type effect. You can also use this as your background for a scene or a picture. I've done that too, where I had the snowflakes falling out of the sky. We did some symmetrical trees, so they were cut, and then we designed a fox with some snow on the ground, and the fox was underneath the trees, and the snowflakes were falling in the background. So there were a lot of different components to that particular artwork. Maybe eventually I'll get to sharing that here as well. Well, I have enjoyed working through our snowflake radial balanced paper cuts. Paper cuts are fun. There are some artists out there who are really diligent with how they cut out their paper cuts. They can make an entire scene with these lacy papers that they produce. So take a look at that out there on Google or any other search engine you have. A.M. Snyder here, always so grateful to shine some creativity into your world, and I hope that you have found some artistic success here. Until next time, bye-bye.